Hi, and welcome to your first therapy session. My name is Fleur Dewsnap and I will be your CBT therapist. In today's session, I'm going to introduce to you the structure of the therapy and let you know what you can expect in the next few weeks. Before we get going, a little bit about me. I'm an accredited CBT therapist and began my career working in therapy in 2010. Over the last 13 years, I've worked in both public and private sectors and delivered thousands of hours of CBT. I now spend my time split between human colours and teaching CBT to both trainee therapists and junior doctors. I'm an expert in CBT and am a huge advocate of therapy, having had the pleasure of witnessing the power of CBT over many years with thousands of clients struggling with anxiety and depression. The delivery of therapy has, of course, changed in the last few years, with the reduced stigma around mental health, the culture of prioritising well-being, and with people now recognising the value of therapy. The demand for psychological therapy has increased, leaving public sector waiting lists oversubscribed and many private organisations with waiting lists or being unable to offer affordable therapy. What's left is often a watered down version of online therapy or self-help options and a minefield of directories and jargon. Having worked for many years in management positions in public sector psychology services, I've seen firsthand the struggle these clinics go through in an attempt to meet the demand. The lack of resource for this in the public sector often results in patients waiting up to a year or more for therapy. This gap really came to light after trying to find a family member an appropriate therapist who was qualified and affordable and could support them quickly. I was overwhelmed by the directories of counsellors, the jargon, the hundreds of different types of therapies, and the minefields of qualifications, and I work in the industry. How do clients find what they need amongst all of this? Here at Human Colours, we're passionate about making the process of accessing high quality therapy with highly qualified and experienced clinicians simple and accessible, and to everyone, and without the use of waiting lists. So this is your time. This is the start of your journey with us, and this is your space. So let's begin your therapy today. This course will mimic how ordinary CBT is delivered, and because of that, just like I would say on your first therapy appointment, we need to set some ground rules. Sessions should be attended on a weekly basis and completed ideally within 9 to 11 weeks. This is your personal therapy appointment. I would encourage you to watch each video at the same time every week so that you're consistently creating a routine and boundary around this time, just like you would if you were coming to a therapy appointment each week. You'll notice at the start of each module, we introduce a short check-in grounding exercise. In the digital age, distractions are a constant. Our screens often pull us in many different directions, and even as we embark on this online course, the world around us doesn't pause. But our growth, understanding, and healing require our full attention. That's where our check-in grounding exercises come into play. These moments aren't just useful rituals to introduce into your life. They're bridges, helping us transition from the hustle and bustle of daily life into a focused, present state of mind. By grounding ourselves, we ensure we're wholly present, absorbing each lesson with clarity and intent. No matter what's happening around you, for the next few minutes, give yourself the gift of presence. There may be sessions where I let you know that you can move on to the next session straight away. But for the most part, you should wait until your therapy appointment each week. You can, of course, revisit the previous videos throughout the week to keep it fresh in your mind. Ever attended an appointment and wish you'd recorded it? Well, that's the benefit of attending therapy in this way. You can keep coming back to your last session. You want to attend each session in a quiet and comfortable space where you won't be interrupted. I want you to have a pen and notepad with you for every session so that you can write down your own reflections. Again, this is what we would be doing if we're in one-to-one therapy together. Each session, I will pose many questions to you, just like I would in therapy. Pause the video at every opportunity to really consider and reflect on these questions for yourself and write down your thoughts. The more you engage with that process, the more you'll gain from this. I'll also add moments to pause and complete specific exercises. Some of these exercises may include making notes or just the worksheets that I've provided. At the end of every session, I'll ask you to write down one take-home message. This will be anything that has stood out to you in the session that you really want to hold on to. I loathe the word homework, but this is a key element in CBT. Even if you listen to every word, every session with me, without homework exercises, nothing will change. I've worked with many clients over the years who have bought countless self-help books or listened to hundreds of podcasts on wellness in the hope that just by reading it or listening to it, they will somehow absorb the information and it'll change things for them. But this just isn't how we overcome our problems. We need to take action, So I'm going to ask you to hold one question in mind at all times through every session. How can I use this? So I'll use the word homework, and I'll set out exercises for you to complete at the end of each video. CBT relies heavily on the in-between session tasks, so please take the time to ensure you're completing tasks as best you can, and I'd encourage you to never skip a homework exercise or skip forwards to the next video without completing the homework first. And let's briefly say what this therapy is not and when it may not benefit you. If you're experiencing any thoughts of harming yourself or anyone else, you should speak with your GP and use both national and local crisis line numbers to ensure your own safety. That brings us to the end of the introductory session. Make sure you've made a note of any key messages from today's session. Make sure you've grabbed a notepad and you've thought about when you'll schedule your therapy appointment. You may even want to put this into your diary. And once you've done this, if you wish to, you can move straight on to the next video.